Thanks, General Sullivan, and thanks to the assembled group. It's obviously a slow day in Washington, D.C. to see all of you up and in seats at this early an hour on this chilly of a morning. But thanks for joining the Army in this important forum. General Thurman's, as always, great to see you, and great to have so many of our leaders gathered with us here today. Good morning. It's always an honor to join you and the Association of the United States Army for these critical discussions on the future of our Army. So thanks to our distinguished guests, and certainly to all of the Association of the United States Army team that consistently pulls together such valuable forums for dialogue and collaboration. The involvement of all of you and your candor here today is critical to the future of our Army. So thanks in advance for taking the time to join us and to engage. I want to apologize up front because unfortunately I am once again not in control of my own schedule, and I am going to have to beg off the Q&A portion at the back end here, despite my best efforts to keep my comments very brief. So I will have to take a rain check on that, and trust me, if you've got a Q&A that you really wanted to get to me, you give it to Guy Swan and he'll get it to me, and I'll get you an answer. You know, as a young officer, I was taught that good leaders pay careful attention during times of transition. From the offense to the defense, from combat operations to stability operations, and from 14 years of repeated deployments in the same two theaters of operation to an unpredictable future that promises to be complex and unstable. Yes, we are indeed facing a challenging time of transition for our nation and for our Army. As leaders, our number one priority during this period of transition must remain the readiness of our force, soldiers, leaders, and fighting formations. We have a moral responsibility to our soldiers and to the nation to ensure that no American soldier ever deploys into harm's way untrained, with inexperienced leaders, or with less than the best equipment the nation can provide. This is a sacred obligation none of us will shy away from. As we continue to serve in the midst of more than 14 years of war, I think we all intuitively understand that there will be no peace dividend. Instead, persistent instability in an uncertain world requires the Army to remain an indispensable foundation of the joint military force while simultaneously building the force of the future. As everyone in this room understands, this is no small task. So it is good to look out across the room and see so many talented and committed leaders. It is your competence, commitment, and character, as well as the thousands you represent, that sustains my confidence that Army Aviation will lead well through this period of critical transition. Army Aviation is indeed one of the singular attributes that makes the United States Army the most dominant land power on earth. Aviation provides our Army with unprecedented mobility and lethality, enabling commanders to see and understand the battle space better than ever before, and increasing survivability for our soldiers in a way unmatched in the history of warfare. To ensure continued application of these bedrock principles, we must ensure Army Aviation is organized, equipped, and trained to provide our Army and our nation with a decisive advantage, without peer in scale or capability, and postured for tomorrow's threats. When I joined this group a year ago, the Army had recently begun implementing the Aviation Restructure Initiative. As a result of end strength reductions and budget constraints, the Army was forced to relook its entire aviation fleet. This required difficult decisions and subsequent reductions that were not something we would have otherwise chosen. But crafting the Aviation Restructure Initiative was necessary to optimize the readiness, capability, and capacity of our total force and protect critical modernization programs. Today, ARI is fully underway, and the benefits of our hard choices are starting to show. The decisions of ARI, while difficult, provide our Army the most capable and ready aviation force while operating within fiscal constraints and minimizing risk. There is no easy trade-off, but by divesting 3 aging platforms, the Army is ensuring that the newest, most modern aviation capabilities are ready now, while underwriting modernization efforts that build the aviation force of the future for our total force. These efforts are critical because our Army continues to operate in a world where the velocity of instability is increasing, where technology is proliferating, historically stable states are failing, and our enemies are more adaptive than ever. As a result, our aviation modernization initiatives must ensure we develop the right systems to maintain unmatched mobility, lethality, and survivability against a wide range of adaptive enemies across diverse operational environments. This includes increasing manned and unmanned teaming, ensuring we accurately define future vertical lift requirements, improving the power and agility of the current fleet, developing lethality that pairs precision and discrimination for engagements in complex terrain, and enhancing survivability by expanding our ability to detect and defeat a wide array of capabilities. This is not a wish list. These are must-haves to deliver an aviation force capable of dominating future battlefields. And as important as these modernization efforts are, their ultimate success remains dependent upon the highly trained and cohesive units led by competent and committed leaders. As history resounds, current technologies are easily copied and countered. What gives the United States Army a differential advantage over adversaries is our well-led, repetitiously trained teams and highly skilled soldiers who optimize technology to achieve mission success. It is and will remain all about our soldiers. Today, the Army has 190,000 total force soldiers supporting combatant commanders in over 140 countries around the globe. With our force dispersed, Mission Command is more important than ever. And Mission Command means more than the equipment and hardware we use. Mission Command demands a culture where competent and trained leaders exercise initiative and operate with prudent risk within the commander's intent. We depend upon leaders who are agile, adaptive, and innovative. Leaders who thrive in conditions of uncertainty and chaos, and who possess the character and commitment to make our nation stronger and our world safer. Army Aviation's legacy was built with leaders like this. From the Yadrang Valley to the Hindu Kush, in the cockpit and on the hangar floor, and from tactical operations centers to the most remote areas of the battle space. And they will lead us confidently into the future. Army aviation leaders at every echelon must build and lead dynamic organizations capable of fighting and winning in the complex environments wherever our Army is called. As training dollars shrink, we need creative leaders, now more than ever, who develop tough, realistic training that ensures readiness and drives innovation. This is a tall order, but not insurmountable. The creativity you apply in training units will develop the next generation of leaders and shape the future of our Army. Training in garrison cannot be viewed as routine. It must replicate the complexity of flying in Iraq and Afghanistan. And it is incumbent upon those of you who have flown and fought in these demanding environments for more than 14 years to train up the next generation of pilots. Our Army is counting on your example and exactitude to ensure we maintain our combat edge while operating safely. Before I go, I'll leave you with two guiding thoughts. First, our Army has led through change before, and the challenges facing us today will be overcome with positive, innovative leaders. Leaders of character at every echelon. Second, we are the greatest Army in the world. We are committed to remaining the best for years to come. And we'll do so as a team, a total force, partnered with the great patriots serving in industry and in government. I apologize once again that I can't take your questions, but I know that we have the leaders here that can probably provide a more concise answer than I would anyway. So God bless you, and Army strong.